Hello and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. For this episode, I'm going to attempt and make a missile, which is... I have designed a missile, and I've tested it a little bit. The only issue is it weighs a ton. This thing, what? It's 3.5 plus... Is one of these, one of these. No, I'll just build it for you. Nice extra. I'm going to do this on here. Yeah, I'll just do it on top of here so you can see. But okay, so it's one of these solid rocket boosters. Then I have one of these on it. Then I have an advanced SAS module on it. And I have a nose cone on it. I have several RTS thrusters, or RCS thrusters. Yes, I have several real-time strategy thrusters on here. Okay, and then... Oops. That's not where those are supposed to be. Okay. Put some here. And put some here. Okay, that is the missile. And you can probably understand why it weighs so much. Okay. It weighs, I don't even know how much it weighs, but it's really, really heavy. It's an extremely heavy missile. Now, that's not to say it doesn't work well. It actually... Oh, wait, sorry, I didn't finish building it. There's still parts of it that I forgot to put on. Yeah, there's more. Don't worry. And there is... these. Ah. Okay, put one there. Yep. Oh, guys, this isn't on straight, but that's not really the point. I want one there. Yeah. And one there. That is the accurate missile. It flies pretty straight, actually. The only problem is it, weighs a billion pounds. So, I don't know what can lift that up. It's really, really heavy. It can easily lift itself. That's not the issue. However, it is, heavy. However, the biggest issue with rockets is that they have to be made with solid fuel. There's no other way to do it. I mean, either that or you can put a fuel tank on it, but the fuel tank just adds a bunch of extra weight to it, so it's usually not a very good option. I'm not really sure what to do about this. I'm fairly certain, I don't know, I want to find a way to do it with these, because these would make nice missiles. They're small, they don't have very much thrust, they don't burn for very long, but they don't have to. Also had another idea. What if, oops, put this back on here. If I take off the nose cone, and what I do is I actually put it right on the back of this thing. Like, oh, frick. I just have to move it over like piece by piece, practically. Yeah. Alright, so let's do it like this. It's kind of annoying, but whatever. There you go. Okay, I was thinking, well, what if I, instead of putting it on top and trying to launch it off, if I put it on the back, which would solve a couple of problems. One of which is that it ruins the whole aerodynamic thing. It wouldn't ruin the whole aerodynamic thing if it were like this. 1 second. I need to kind of reposition this and then turn it so it's like that. Yeah. So what it should do is it's going to have to start burning and release in the exact same stage. So it burns and then it just drops. So the idea is that it starts burning and then drops it, so it just kind of like falls down and shoots out, like you see on fighter jets. I'm not really sure how well that's going to work out because, this is just not very practical. Oh. Probably should have ended the landing gear. That probably would have been a good idea. Oh, well, it doesn't even light up because it... Okay, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to press it to fire it, and then I'm going to have to press space again really fast to let go of it. We're also going to need to add landing gear because, that kind of helps when you're trying to fly. Good job. Come on, what the heck is going on? What is that? Let's do it like this. Okay. And not exactly sure what to do. I think I'll go like that. These on each side. Okay. Just make sure they're attached to the right thing. Now I need to add a small hard point underneath them. This is... Whoops, I wasn't putting it on the right thing. What's about these camera controls? I can't do anything. Whatever, I suppose I can't do it like this. It's just easier if I can move the camera up, and for some reason that's not working. Oh well. You move these far back as I can. Okay, because now I have this freaking huge rocket on the back. I'm not really sure what this is going to do. The reason why the SAS and RCS are on there is because it's a lot more stable that way. It flies fairly straight, I think, for almost a kilometer before it kind of falls and doesn't fly straight. Okay, this is probably going to tip back. No, this is definitely going to tip back. Center of mass is really far back. However, we can turn off this. I'm not exactly sure how to launch it if I'm not actually flying. I might have to get airborne, which is going to take a little bit more effort. I think I am going to have to, so... Perfect. What could possibly go wrong? Can't have any lift on here, though. That's... Thrust, mass, lift. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm not really actually making a plane here. This is just to get the missile. Let's just to test the missile with... Oh, that's beautiful. That's crazy. Okay. Well, I have a bad feeling about this airplane. Whoops. But I suppose we'll see. Doesn't exactly strike me as a very stable airplane. It's not going to be able to fly for very long either, since it only has those 2 fuel tanks, and these engines consume, I think, like 12 per second or something. Ridiculous. But they should provide more than enough thrust to get me off the runway. Yeah, well, I don't think this whole missile idea is ever going to work if I can't get it to, actually get right back up. Well, this whole missile thing is not going to work unless I can... Okay, this is not working. I mean, but the missile thing won't work. Putting it on the back of it would just never work unless I can get it to, it would have to drop and then turn on, which is, not an option. So... I don't really know what to do about this missile problem. Let's think. I know this plane isn't very good either, but it's not really the plane. It's just this thing's not going to work, even if I get up, because it'll just launch. It'll push me forwards, but then as soon as I detach it, it'll just keep pushing me forwards and eventually mess me up. If I put thrusters on it, that'll lift me up. It'll go up at the same time, and then it'll just it'll launch this, it'll detach it, then it'll push me up, and the other thing should just start flying forwards. But that's a little bit complicated, and I'm not really sure how effective it's going to be. I don't know. I built a ship a little bit ago. I'm not exactly sure if it's still... Oh yeah, well obviously this is the exact same one I have right now. But I built a ship a little bit ago. Obviously I didn't save it, which is unfortunate because it worked quite well. Or it would have been good for this purpose anyway. Or what I could do is I could put some of these onto here instead. Then if I just move... Well, it has RCS thrusters on it. I don't need those. What I could do is I can press the down. I can just force it down as I launch it off. And that should, in theory, anyway, drop it and then let me go. So, I suppose we will see. Yes, I know this is a terrible airplane, but whatever. That's not the point. Let's just see if we can just take off without turning the crazy stuff. Okay, I need to add a top tail fin onto the thing. Like one of these. These work well. Perfect. Now it'll fly well. Also did move the center of mass forwards a little bit, so it'll be better suited for flying. Ever so slightly better. Because it's just moving from like back here to like right here or something. I'm not exactly sure since I can't calculate that. I don't know how. And I can't just press the button right now. Yeah, see? Told you. It tipped back slower. Oh. Okay, well. I have to get a better plane to test this whole idea out. This is just not going to work out with the plane I've got right now. Okay, we'll take the missile off for now. And then move these fuel tanks as far back as I can get them. Need to modify this thing so that it will... Wait. Take this off. I'm going to move this back. Whoops. Don't need that big. This will also let me burn for longer, so that's good. Well, it's not really the objective, but it will. Okay, that'll fly better. At least I hope that'll fly better. There we go. Okay, so these thrusters fire. And then we have... Okay, so the normal thrusters fire, and then the missile fires, and then the missile drops. Perfect. Okay, well, I dare say that seems like it'll work pretty well. But I don't really know. At least it won't tip over now. And I think it can still take off. Although it doesn't have the tail fin anymore, so it could still turn over and mess up. I don't know, I suppose we'll see. Okay, so this, oops, that should push it right down, this should push it up. Yeah, I need the tail fin on there. Okay, well, I was just hoping I didn't have to have it. Okay, well, I'll put 2 here-ish. Also move the center of lift forwards. And then I want to put this thing right about... Oops. You need to be like this. Okay, there. Now, it should fly straighter. Not straight, straighter. Also, keep in mind, this thing doesn't actually have to fly very well. It just has to get to an altitude where I can drop the missile off the back and see if that will actually shoot it off. Although I don't think I'll be able to do that. But I suppose we will see. I just realized I was moving in the wrong direction. This is so annoying. How did I travel 2 kilometers? 2,000 meters? That doesn't make any sense. Maybe 600 meters, but not 2,000. I mean, it didn't go up at all, so... This is probably the route you get going pretty fast to take off. Why does it fly... Why doesn't it fly straight? That's a better question. Okay, move this here. I'll be right back. Okay, so take this wing, one on each side. Now, I don't need that engine that I had before. These would definitely provide enough thrust, but... Okay, so the issue is I don't have enough thrust, so... mayhaps... if we place some thingamajigers on like this... Okay, wait, what? Why not? Oh my god. Okay, so what I'm going to do is turn these around, because I think that's the issue. Okay, I'm going to turn these around because apparently that matters, or at least that tends to fix the problem. Which I'm not really sure what the problem is, but... Is that turned around? I can't even tell. No, it's good. It'll work now. Oh, whoops. I need these on. I need to put the wings on it so it can fly. That looks about right. Looks better though. I don't know, whatever. We'll see. Oh, I just noticed that the engines are in the wrong order. I'm gonna have to mess it up around the stages a bunch then. No. I have to move this engine up to here, and this one up to here, and these two to go down to here. So you can actually take it. Oh my god. Yeah. Again. Okay. So. Okay, well I tried to attach it to this airplane, the Albatross, but it didn't work. These things are just too big. It just doesn't work at all. So instead, what I think I'm going to do, is I'm going to try and develop some Separatron rockets, because that seems like it would work well. I'm going to use this airplane because it also seems like it would work well. I could use my 638, but I don't really want to. This one does have an aerospike on it, so it'll have more than enough thrust to thrust up pretty much anything. The only issue is it won't have very much fuel, because aerospikes obviously, or I mean obviously, but you may know aerospikes don't last very long. They consume fuel, it's like, I think 14 a second or something crazy like that. So there's no way it's going to last for a long time. This one has RCS on it, interesting. But at any rate, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and make a Separatron rocket, which has several big issues. First, Separatrons are weak. Second, Separatrons are useless. Third, they are not balanced well. And fourth, they have almost no thrust. The reason why I am using Separatrons though instead of these is because this thing provides way too much thrust. This, too much, and it weighs too much. This one weighs almost nothing. And actually, I believe it has a way... Yeah, it definitely has a way better thrust to weight, I believe. I'll go find out. I have a calculator. Okay, so this one is 20. for 0.5. So yeah, that's about 133 thrust per weight thing. I'm not sure what that's in kilograms or tons, or well, metric tons, obviously, but I don't know. Let's do... Whereas the other one only has 71. So this actually, by weight, provides a lot more thrust. However, the reason why this won't work is quite simple. I will show you. It's actually the biggest issue. I've tried this several times before. It doesn't really matter which decoupler I use. I just chose these because I felt like it, and you can't stop me. But, you know, why not? They're going to work just as badly as any other thruster. Okay, so when I press this, it's like, oh, that's normal. And then I press it again to release them, which it's not doing. What the heck? Oh, there it goes. That's helpful. Gee, thanks. Do it again. Okay, well, pretty much what happens is it just ends up flipping around, because the thing on the bottom weighs a lot more than the Sepratron on the top. So it just doesn't do anything. Shut up. Ugh. Okay, so, Sepratron's on, then release, and now just flip down instead of up. Usually I put them under the wings so it flips up, but that's really not the point at all. At any rate, what is the point, however, is that this seems to be pointing downwards a lot. It's actually pretty good. Did not expect it to be nearly this good. I think mine's a little bit better, though. I can maneuver better in it. Not just because I'm flying more, but this thing wobbles around a lot more. The aerospike probably isn't helping, though. See, the aerospike's using all that power right there. Yeah, mine's better. Not just because it's mine, but... Okay. So, yeah, we determined this thing doesn't work at all. Just doesn't work. However, what I'm thinking I might need to do is add more rockets. That seems like it would solve the problem. I'm also going to use a different decoupler. Because that one's not very good. Grab the freaking decoupler. That's really annoying, is that it's almost impossible to grab the decouplers. There's like, nope, sorry, you can't grab me, can't have me, can't move me, can't change anything. It blows up too bad. And put one more on this side of the decoupler. There you go. Now it has 3 Separatrons on each side, so it'll go... That's actually about 60 thrust on each side, which is actually kind of a lot, considering that it's not actually lifting anything. But, whatever. Oh my god. Okay, so, I'm gonna launch these, and then press this. Okay, well it shot forwards faster, which I suppose is a good thing. But it's, you know, it's still not staying up. Maybe if I add some other things on it so that it stays up. I don't know, I suppose we'll see. The best part about this thing is that it can actually take off. Mine do not take off very well. I mean, they usually take off at the end of the runway, which is not an optimal time to take off. I'm going to put these winglets onto here, which is just going to be way too big. Okay, yeah. What's the smallest wing thing? That's pretty big too. I don't know what I can put on there. It just needs to not go down. Wait, if I take the one off the top, it won't go down nearly as much. That might actually fly straight. If that flies straight, I am going to put those on, because those are very lightweight rocket missile launcher things. And that's good. Because the other ones, I mean, they shot actually remarkably straight for being just random rockets fired off a plane. Unfortunately, it's not good enough to just be random rockets fired off a plane. And, you know, my things can actually lift off with them on. Okay, still goes down, just not down nearly as much. So, we've established that that helps. So maybe, if I can put another one underneath it, it will go up. Which would be, I suppose, pretty bad too, but... You know what, I think it'll be fine if I can just get it to move. Nope, of course not. That'd be way too freaking convenient. Move the whole thing down a bunch. Okay, that seems as good a place as any. Hopefully that works. Okay, that's better. Now let's just take this thing off, clone it. I don't know how well that's going to work. I don't particularly care how well that's going to work. I just kind of care if it works. It's really all I care about at this point. It looks like it might work. Of course, then again, looks don't usually really mean a whole lot. Well, it looks good, but nope. I don't know. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. We'll find out. I think that should be pretty good thrust balancing for the whole thing, but I suppose we will find out. And theoretically, those should work both ways because of the... I don't know. Theoretically, they should, because if they go down now, if I try to turn them around, they'd still go down. Or maybe they go... I don't know. Maybe they might not work the other way around. But I can just always place them on top of the wings instead of... Okay, it goes up a little bit. Okay, maybe it wasn't the best idea. Can this thing even take off without the aerospike? I don't think it can. Nope, it can. Pretty easily. It goes quick. It goes really fast. Okay, well. Okay, anyway. Let's see. Well, Cybertron's not working. Maybe if I put another one on top. This is just going to go poorly, I can just tell. Although it is getting better. Although it was the best with just the two on the side, because that shot the straightest. I mean, not straight. It's really kind of a stretch to even say straightest. It wasn't really straight at all. It went forward probably like not even half a 100 meters, also known as 50 meters. I don't know. Let's just launch. Okay, that didn't do any better. Actually, I think one of the issues might be this airplane, because it's aimed down. I'm going to go grab my 6th ray, because I know it's not aimed down. And I'll go put these on top of its wings. Let's go build some more. I mean, I know how to do it. It's not very complicated. Just make sure it's pointed in the right direction. X. Whoops. X. Okay, duplicated. Now, theoretically, put one up here, and one on either side. That looks pretty good. Put the one underneath it. I think I'm going to put it as far forwards underneath it as I can manage. So I think that will give me the best results. It should lift it up, the other one should push it down, I don't know. We'll see. If not, I might just use RCS thrusters for it, because that'll work pretty well too. In theory, anyway. So each one of these has 80 thrust on it, which is about half of this thing. So both of these we could take off if they lasted longer. I'm gonna push myself forwards a little bit. Cut that one out. Cut it out. Okay, so now I shift and launch them. Well, go straighter for longer. Definitely not straight, and definitely not for a long time, but it goes straighter for longer, so... meh. Alright. I barely escaped that one. I'm not sure if you can actually see the lag or not. I don't know. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I hope you can. Just rest assured when I say it's lagging, because it does. Just random lag spikes all over the place. Okay, well, the missiles are coming together slightly better. Still goes down. So I think I'm going to move this forward, because that, if I understand correctly, that should lessen the amount of downward thrust it has. Well, okay, in the exact middle it should have the least amount of downward thrust. This, should. So we need the least amount of downward thrust, but still some downward thrust. Or mayhaps... Okay, well that was weird, because I don't know why one went up and the other one didn't. There it goes. Well, go back down. Okay, so that's really not working very well. I don't know. I think the Cybertrons are the way to go. I'm not really sure about this, though. I don't really know what's going on here, because I'm not a rocket scientist. As you may have noticed. So let's put maneuvering thrusters on the back of this missile. Perfect! Now it'll fly. Well, that's not really the point. I don't know, maybe. Who cares? I think this one will have the most thrust. I'm not really sure where to put my... I don't know, can I do this? If I can... I'm not sure if any thrust is going to get... any fuel is going to get to this engine, but... if it does, that'll be just swell. Because we can just push the rockets forwards with the small amount of RCS thrust we have. Just start them off forwards or whatever. Okay, no, the RCS thrusters will take off. I'm just not sure whether or not the main engine on the back is going to take off. No, it's not. Awesome. Well, these, I can just push myself forwards with these. They should, theoretically, be going. But they're not. Awesome. I'm not really sure what about this whole missile problem, because, it's a huge problem. Okay, well, this design is just not working. I've been thinking about using these, but I don't think it's going to end up working very well. Okay, you know what? Maybe we can make it liquid-fueled. I'm just going to have to include the fuel tank on it, because otherwise it's definitely just not going to work. Smallest fuel tank possible. I think that's about right. Well, I'm gonna have to take the engine off of it, obviously, but I don't know, that looks pretty straight. Okay, now put this engine on the back. We could put arrow spikes on the back too, but I don't know if that's really necessary. Okay, time for craziness. Those are gonna go down too, methinks, but I don't know. I'm not even sure if they're gonna keep thrusting though, because it might just stop thrusting as soon as they disconnect, even though they have their own fuel tank. I hope they don't, because those would not be half bad missiles to be shooting at the enemy. The other issue though is that they are still kind of big missiles. Deactivate this one. And launch. Okay, those didn't even fly. Amazing. I think I'm going to use arrow spikes, because that will definitely get it flying forwards pretty fast. Just have to make sure I detach it quickly, because otherwise it's just not going to work. I think we have to move these back a little bit more. Okay, well, I put it on. Oh, I can just tell this isn't going to work. This is terrible. Why would I think of this? I mean, I'm not even pointing in their direction, but if they were. Well, that seems like it's pointed straight. I just want to move it out of the way of my canards in the front. My canards in the front. Yeah. Well, I know the arrow spikes at least get it moving. They'll probably last for like 2 seconds. Be like, nope, done. Just ate all your fuel. But I don't know, if these fly forwards, you know what? The mark for accuracy is going to be over. No, it's just going to be in front of here, because I was going to say it's going to be in front of there, but that's kind of unrealistic. Okay, not accurate at all. Activation. Activision. Oh. I'm really not sure what to do about this whole, missile thing. Because that's the only viable weapon besides bombs. And I don't want bombs on a fighter jet, because seriously, how is that going to work? Why are we accelerating? What the heck? That makes no sense. It's interesting, but it makes no sense. I don't know why we're accelerating right now. My engine's not even on. Yeah, my engine's not on and we're still accelerating. I mean, my engine can turn on, but that's not really the point. Okay, still. Let's make a boat. That seems like a good idea. We should survive this impact. It's not even going that fast. Yep. I don't know, for some reason putting the flaps up or down just made it keep going faster. I don't know why, but it did. Move this on. Okay, well, I don't know. I'll come back after I think of an idea. Or maybe I won't think of an idea and it won't just won't come back on for this video anymore. This could be the end of the video. If it is, goodbye and thanks for watching. And I assure you, I will eventually create a missile. However, we'll probably end up coming back in a couple hours. So, I mean, not for you, obviously, but we'll see. Hello and welcome back to Missile Design. This is actually the next day. But so far, this is what I've come up with. And I'll show you how well it works, or how not well it works. It flies a lot better than all the other missiles. It actually launches, which is, astounding. And I built a version for my 6th rate that, actually worked, but I've been trying to standardize it right now, so, yeah. Because I can't reproduce the one that I built on my 6th rate. And, see, that one just kind of goes down, which is a lot better than it going up or to the side or just flying around all over crazy over the place and doing a bunch of flips. The issue is it doesn't have quite enough lift, so I'm going to take these two and move them. Whoops. Not exactly sure which way I've rotated it. That looks good. It's nice and fancy. That should be a lot more lift. Yeah. Pretty much just playing with this thing until I can get it to fly straight. Because, the 6th rate, this thing's pretty accurate up to 1.7 kilometers. So that's pretty good. Or at least, in the grand scheme of making missiles out of things that you're never supposed to make a missile out of, it's pretty good. Yeah, it flies straighter for longer. I'm going to try an actual flight test with this missile, because this one seems like it's pretty good. The only thing I wish is that you could copy missiles, or you can copy, like, parts from ship to ship. That way I could actually kind of, if I could just copy a missile from my 6th rate, that one's pretty good, actually. This one, I'm not exactly sure, because I have to do flight tests first. Oh, crap. Take off. Also, another thing the missile does is it usually lets me take off a lot sooner than I normally would. Like that. Okay, and then I gear up and like spaz out a bunch. Then let's see. A missile starting and firing. That's actually pretty dang awesome. That's way better than my other missiles did. Unfortunately, it really doesn't seem to have that much range. Probably because I'm just firing off with separatrons. But that was the best missile test yet, and I'm going to see if I can actually hit something with it. I'm not really sure what I'm going to aim it at yet, but I will find out. Okay. I'm going to aim for one of these debris clusters, probably that one since it's the most in my way. No, it's not, never mind. I'm probably aim for that one because there's a ton of debris over there. Oh, frick. I'm not exactly sure why it helps me lift off so much faster, but it does, so I'm not complaining. Stop the lag. That was bad. Oh god. Wow, that was close. Yeah, even on the 6th rate, I put more than one missile. Actually, I'll go show you the 6th rate's missile now. I don't know. 6th rate's more like a long-range missile. These on top, they go pretty far. Well, as I said before, they go 1.7 kilometers, which is significantly farther than the other missile I designed, although they don't go nearly as straight. Because the one I designed for the 5th rate actually goes pretty straight, pretty far, pretty fast, for it being a Sepratron motor. I'm not exactly sure how useful these things would be in dogfights, but, I'd much rather put missiles on here than bombs, because they're fighter jets, and seriously, who puts bombs on a fighter jet? I mean, that's no fun. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna aim for the same cluster, so you make sure I get into about perfect range before I launch it. I've got two of them, though, so I can afford to launch one a little bit early, methinks. These are pretty accurate. Yeah. See, that shot, the second shot was pretty close. I mean, they're not, like, homing missiles by any means, but I think that's one of the best missiles people have ever designed for Kerbal Space Program. Not just saying that, but I haven't really ever seen anybody try. People always go for like, weapons mods, so even if nobody else competes, I still win the competition. At least that's why I'm doing it. I'll be right back. If you have built a better missile, I would love to see it, and if you want to let me use it, I would love to. I do have an idea on how to import missiles and stuff, but I don't know, we'll see. I'm gonna go add another like 3 missiles to the top of this one so I can just try out some target practice, because these things are actually pretty fun once you get them to the stage you can actually shoot stuff with them. The only problem is setting up the staging, because it's pretty complicated. You need to make sure you have all the right stages. You need 2 stages for every single one of these missiles. So, say, first one is this one. Which means this one can stay here. This one, and this one go up here. This one's still right. Okay. Pair of thrusters is this one's. Okay, I need to ensure that this one is right. Yes, it is. Okay, next one. So, top thrusters, and this one. I think this is right. Yeah. I'm afraid I have a stage in between these two, though, for me to fire off the missiles individually. So this one should launch off this one should be this one's thrusters, this one should launch off this one should be this one's thrusters. Yep. This one should be this one's thrusters, and then which one launches it? This one launches it. Okay, I think that's properly set. Yes, it is. So it should have 4 missiles that we can launch off now, which is the most missiles I've ever put on my space planes, which means that, at least in theory, this thing should also be able to take off in probably like 70 meters per second or something crazy like that. At least crazy for such a big plane. Oh crap. Forgot that part. That part's kind of important. Luckily, since I didn't start the engines yet, I can still move it all the way down to the first stage. Yeah, that part's not... That was not especially amazing. That was not one of my better moments. Wow! That was fast liftoff. Okay, well... I think the first order of business is to shoot at one... Actually, I don't even know what the range on these things is, so I'm just gonna... I'll do range tests now-ish. I'm just gonna go quit this out, restart the flight, and just do them just on the ground. Because that's the best way to get a range, is just shoot it out, see how far it goes. So that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. I'm not going to be taking off at all with this one. Start it. And then launch first missile, which doesn't go anywhere. Launch second missile, which... Oh, crap. I forgot about these. These aren't going to do anything at all. I should be able to take off with just the one engine because I have all the boasts. But, I don't know, I'm going to put these other 2 onto this missile just in case I can't. Although I'm fairly confident I will. I think only have to be going, yeah, not very fast. Anyway, I'm not really sure what the range on these is because it's kind of hard to measure it because I can't, you know, measure it. Although it also kind of depends on my optimal launching conditions. I think that one went about 1 kilometer, roughly. So that's actually not that bad. I guess I'll keep trying. If I can ever aim at one of these things. Yeah, these things aren't all exactly the most maneuverable craft either. I mean, I suppose they're not really designed to be either. That wasn't even it wasn't aiming downwards, granted, but still, not even a kilometer. I'm hoping to get at least 1 kilometer out of these things. Because that seems like a realist, or well, I'm not sure about realistic. I think usually it's like 3 kilometers or something, but you know, these things aren't even accurate from like 5 feet away, so I'm really not expecting that much from these. Just so I can aim them and kind of shoot at things. Because, you know, that's kind of formidable looking on the top, especially once you realize that they're missiles, not just random stabilization, extra flight takeoff lift thingies. Okay, we should be able to take off really fast this time. At least that's the idea. How fast? 60 meters per second. That's pretty fast. Holy freaking crap. Stop! Yeah, this is why I can't aim at these close by targets, because I always lag out next to them. So, let's none of those targeting things. Oh my god. Anything I'm trying to aim at right now, just like, nope, sorry. I don't know, I just don't know if you can see this lag, but trust me, it's bad. Like, seriously, impossible to aim. I'm not just saying that, like, just not even, I don't even want to try. Usually I'm the one who's like, oh, like, doesn't matter at all, it's bad. So, just bad. But, seriously, not good. Oh my god, that was terrible. None of the missiles even ended up going close to the target. Yeah, these things have fairly unpredictable, mostly downward flight paths. So, honestly, the 6th rate missiles are pretty awesome. Especially compared to the ones on this thing. I'm going to try and work out with these missiles a little bit more. I mean, pretty much, I've designed the missile at this point. It fires okay. I can pretty much aim for targets, which is good. I can aim. And that I really don't have a whole lot to say. Oh, I'm pretty proud of my missiles, actually. Although, one of the things you'll notice about these missiles is that they have two, or rather, they have 4 Separatrons. I was about to say they had 2 sets of 2 Separatrons, but they have 4 Separatrons. Seems a lot easier to say. And this thing takes off ridiculously fast. It's like 45, or ridiculously slow. It's like 45 kilometers per second. Yeah, 45 kilometers per second. Too fast. I'm not quite there yet, so... Another missile for that same target. Neither one is especially accurate that time around, but... Yeah. Yeah, this thing is pretty cool. No, I'm pretty proud of this one. This is definitely the best I've built so far. And it goes far. I think I made it like 400 kilometers. Like, I stuck up from there and I just started going straight out that way, and I made it like 400 kilometers, which is... I'm pretty proud of that. Pretty proud of that, yes. I'm pretty proud with that. Oh crap, this is not gonna go well. Yeah, usually landing this thing, the front landing gear, well, if I... A lot of the time when I land this thing, the front landing gear, like, breaks. That's my biggest issue with this one. Or the side one. Yeah. At any rate, I do want to say, this is where the 6th rate made it, all the way from here. That's pretty far. I mean, that's where the 4th and 5th rates made it. Actually, the 4th rate could have kept going probably around here, but I stopped because I wanted to land right next to the 5th rate. And I pretty much did. If you look at the coordinates, I'm like barely off at all. Just a couple of, I think that's either degrees or minutes or whatever. No, it's not degrees. The first one is degrees. Second one, I don't even know how this works. I mean, I don't know what these are. I know like degrees and minutes, but I don't know what the third one is. I think that's how it works anyway. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on. I'll look that up. But, honestly, that's close. You have to admit, that's pretty close together, even if you don't know what you're looking for. I mean, I don't know what I'm looking for, and I know that's close. I mean, I could literally see it out the side. Well, I'm about to go try and import these missiles into another airplane, so I will be right back. If I can manage it. If not, well, I'll be back anyway. You just won't see missiles on top of my 5th rate that actually fly. So, see you soon.